A new tempest is emerging in the life of Long Island medium Theresa Caputo. Theresa Caputo, the Long Island medium, has encountered yet another calamity in her life. Her new husband unexpectedly becomes unwell, necessitating his urgent transfer to the hospital. Within the sterile confines of the hospital, Theresa's eyes brim with tears. He stands solitary, contemplating. I abandoned all, my family, my former existence. If anything befalls him, whither shall I proceed? Theresa is conflicted by her dread, uncertainty, and the profound tension of love. This resolute woman, who has consistently illuminated the lives of others, is now seeking her own direction in the darkness. Seated beside her husband, resting her palm on his forehead, Theresa repeatedly uttered, "If anything befalls you, I cannot envision living with another. You are my final sanctuary." Currently, time appears to have halted in Theresa's life. On one hand, her husband's existence, and on the other, the inquiry into her own being. Currently, only the strength of hope and love sustains her. A frigid wind gusted through the hospital parking lot as Theresa Caputo exited the ambulance, her hands quivering and her heart pounding. The sirens had subsided, yet the tempest within her was merely commencing. Only hours prior, she had been laughing in the kitchen, her fingers dusted with flour, preparing her husband's preferred lemon cake. It was a tranquil afternoon, uncommon and invaluable in their tumultuous existence. However, everything transformed instantaneously. He grasped his chest, fell to the ground, and subsequently, paramedics were transporting him into the ambulance. In the antiseptic hospital corridor, illuminated by harsh fluorescent lights, Theresa experienced profound solitude. Her husband, Michael, the individual who had restored her hope following heartbreak, was lying unconscious beyond the imposing double doors of the ICU. The machines emitted a constant beeping, the sole indicators of vitality from the guy she regarded as her home. Nurses entered and exited like phantoms, and with each door opening, her heart raced, apprehensive that someone may bring the most devastating news. She settled onto a chair in the waiting room, her characteristic blonde hair now drenched with perspiration, her eyeliner blurred from unvoiced tears. Her mind was racing, not with notions of apparitions or visions, but with primal, human trepidation. What if he remains unconscious? What if I abandoned everything only to forfeit it once more? Where should I go if he is absent at the conclusion of this storm? Theresa had consistently exhibited strength. She was a mother, a healer, and a medium who facilitated connections between individuals and their deceased loved ones. However, she was no longer the bridge. She awaited on the opposite side, yearning for someone or something to bestow her with tranquility. At last, a nurse arrived, prompting Theresa to rise abruptly. The nurse stated gently, "He is stable. However, he remains in a precarious condition. You may visit him for a brief period." Entering the chamber resembled the act of entering a hallowed sanctuary. The man she adored lay pallid and motionless, his respiration mechanical, his physique delicate. She positioned a chair adjacent to him, grasped his hand, and put it to her cheek. Teardrops cascaded quietly down her visage. "You cannot abandon me," she murmured. "You are the sole individual remaining who embodies a sense of home for me. If you depart, there will be no one else. There will be nothing else. You are my final sanctuary." She remained seated for hours, recounting tales of their inaugural kiss, the journey to Montauk, and the day he proposed with an anxious smile. She grasped his hand and addressed him as though he were attentive, having understood, more than anyone else, that souls invariably listen. A tempest commenced outside the hospital. Rain lashed across the windows. Thunder rent the heavens asunder. However, within that chamber, a transformation occurred. His digits quivered. It was diminutive, minimal motion. However, Theresa's heart sprang with tentative optimism. "Michael," she murmured. His eyes remained closed, yet his hand shifted, gently constricting around hers. Hope, delicate, flickering, and fervent, ignited within her like a flame caught by the wind. The The subsequent days were a gradual progression between doubt and belief. She remained at his side at all times, imploring not only the spirits, but even the universe itself. She requested her clients to light candles and solicited prayers from her followers, not as a medium, but as a woman in love. At last, one morning, as sunshine penetrated the rain clouds outside, Michael awoke. The machines emitted erratic beeping sounds. Nurses hurriedly entered. However, Theresa merely smiled amidst her tears. She was aware. He was returning to her. Weeks later, Michael returned home, recuperating, chuckling faintly, and observing her prepare the lemon cake once more. They sat on their veranda, enveloped in a blanket, observing the clouds dissipate. Despite the world's ongoing turmoil, Theresa had regained her stability. Not alone as the Long Island medium, but as a lady who understood that genuine love endures even the most severe adversities. Occasionally, even the healer requires healing. At times, love embodies the most profound essence of all. Nonetheless, on a temperate autumn afternoon, Natalie entered the bustling studio for a group reading with Theresa Caputo, the Long Island medium. Her heart was burdened, yet her visage displayed a serene grin. She was uncertain about what had compelled her to be here today. Perhaps curiosity. Alternatively, it may have been something more profound. A yearning. A desire for a positive outcome. She had not disclosed her miscarriage to anyone. Neither of her parents. Not even her most intimate acquaintances. Only her spouse, Daniel, was aware. It occurred 2 years prior, only 8 weeks into the gestation period. The loss was subtle and imperceptible. No funeral, no photograph, and no baby shower were ever arranged. An emptiness that infiltrated her existence and remained persistently. Natalie occupied the rear seat, nearly hoping that Theresa would overlook her presence. She sought to avoid notice. Yet a portion of her longed for any form of communication to facilitate her healing. Theresa ascended the stage in her characteristic stilettos and voluminous blonde hair, her presence captivating. The chamber became quiet. She grasped her chest as though regaining her air. "A youthful spirit resides here," Theresa remarked, her gaze sweeping across the room. "A child that was never afforded the opportunity to be born. They are stating, 'Inform mother that I am well.'" Natalie's breath became constricted in her throat. She averted her gaze, tears pricking her eyes. Theresa gestured softly toward the rear. You are wearing the green sweater. May I approach you?" Natalie acquiesced, immobilized. Theresa approached quietly. "Dear, I must inquire about a matter of great sensitivity. Did you experience a miscarriage?" Natalie acquiesced hesitantly, her lips quivering. "Affirmative. 2 years prior." Theresa knelt beside her chair and spoke in a hushed tone. "The energy of your infant is present with you." They remained present. They assert that they are aware of the depth of your affection for them, even prior to your first encounter with their visage. They desire for you to cease attributing blame to yourself. Natalie erupted into subdued weeping. "I was unaware of the child's gender," she murmured. Theresa beamed amiably. "The spirit asserts, 'I am your young son, mother.' He continually depicts you seated by the window, cradling your abdomen. You were weeping, were you not?" "Affirmative," Natalie exhaled. "That was the day I lost him." Theresa acquiesced. "He was present with you at that time. He remains so. He repeatedly expresses, 'Convey to mother my pride in her.' He is aware of the profound significance you attribute to his memory." The room was filled with tears. Natalie inquired gently, "Is he at rest?" Theresa's countenance became luminous. "Entirely. He is in the company of other spirits, grandparents and angels. He is laughing while sprinting through illuminated fields. He states, 'I shall return to you one day, albeit in a different manner.'" Natalie shut her eyes and placed a palm over her heart. After years, she experienced the lifting of the fog for the first time. She sensed a soft and loving embrace enveloping her soul, akin to a diminutive set of arms encircling her from beyond. Natalie positioned a framed sonogram on her bedside. She was once more with child. Although she was uncertain about the future, she said to the sky that night, "Thank you, my dear boy. Thank you for returning." Beyond the curtain, a diminutive ghost beamed. Nevertheless, the morning in New York City was radiant and autumnal. The atmosphere was charged at the ABC studio as Live with Kelly and Michael readied itself for an extraordinary and eagerly awaited guest, Theresa Caputo, renowned star of Long Island Medium. This was not merely another guest interview. The part was a web-exclusive live broadcast, streamed in high definition to viewers nationwide, an unfiltered glimpse into Theresa's spiritual realm. Behind the scenes, Kelly Ripa consumed her coffee with trepidation. "Michael," she murmured, "what if she forms a connection with someone here? For instance, a member of the crew?" Michael Strahan laughed softly. Subsequently, we permitted her to proceed with her activities. "You observed her episodes. She is authentic." At precisely 10:05 a.m., Theresa entered the set, her characteristic platinum blonde hair voluminous and her heels clicking assertively. She donned a black leather jacket over a sequin top, and upon her entrance, an unusual silence ensued. Cameras were operational, the live broadcast was active, and thousands of spectators were immediately engaging in the chat. "Oh my goodness, Theresa. Will she recognize my grandmother? She is extraordinary." Kelly welcomed her cordially. "Theresa, we appreciate your presence during this exclusive online section." "We are elated," Michael remarked, and somewhat apprehensive. Theresa grinned with understanding. "You ought to be," she remarked with a wink. "The spirits are indifferent to schedules or cameras. If they possess something to express, they will articulate it." As they became comfortable in the snug setting, a change occurred. Theresa's eyes fluttered swiftly. She rested a hand on her chest. "I apologize for the interruption," she stated, "but someone is already advancing. Extremely potent energy. A female individual. Her name is Margaret, or alternatively, Maggie. She is presenting me with flowers. Bellis perennis." She continuously reiterates the number 17. One of the camera women inhaled sharply and lost her concentration. "That is my grandmother," she murmured. Theresa oriented herself toward her. "She states you were present with her at the time of her passing. She sensed your hand in hers, despite her inability to open her eyes. She perceived you utter, 'It is permissible to depart.'" The woman's eyes brimmed with tears. "I believed she had already departed. I did not believe she could perceive my voice." "She perceived all, dear," Theresa stated softly. The chamber was quiet, save for the muffled sniffles and the gentle hum of machinery. Even Kelly and Michael remained motionless, astonished. Theresa then pivoted slightly to her left. "A man is now advancing. Exceedingly paternal. Elevated. African-American, he is rendering a military salute." Michael's mouth ajar. "That resembles my Uncle Roy. He was deployed in Vietnam. Deceased last year." Theresa acquiesced. "He wanted to express his gratitude for the recognition bestowed upon him on Memorial Day. He observed the post you shared on social media and expressed that it provided him solace. Furthermore, he advises you to cease your concerns regarding your teeth. The crown will be satisfactory." Michael chuckled in incredulity. "I visited the dentist yesterday." Kelly applauded. "Attention, everyone. This is incredible. I am experiencing chills." The conversation intensified. "Is she discerning their thoughts? She is exceedingly authentic. My grandmother's name was also Margaret. Is Theresa permitted to visit my workplace?" As the segment concluded, Theresa positioned her hands on her lap and gazed into the camera. "If you are observing this, understand that your loved ones are not absent. They are merely in an alternate room. They consistently discover methods to contact you." Moved to tears, Kelly muttered, "Thank you for that, Theresa." Michael stated, "This is the finest web exclusive we have ever produced." As the credits concluded on the live stream and admirers persisted in commenting, Theresa rose, smiled once more, and inquired, "Now, who possesses a slice of cheesecake?" Engaging in spiritual activities induces a sense of hunger in me. Nevertheless, the morning in Chicago was brisk and autumnal. The audience buzzed with anticipation outside the WCL Windy City Live studio. Enthusiasts of the program assembled for a notable episode. Long Island medium Theresa Caputo was present, poised to provide a live reading for attendees. The queue encircled the block, as both adherents and doubters awaited with intrigue and optimism. The atmosphere within the studio was charged. Filming commenced. Theresa Caputo, attired in an elegant black dress and with her characteristic towering blonde hair, approached the center stage with confidence. Her presence was captivating. The WCL hosts received her warmly, and following a succinct introduction, Theresa surveyed the crowd with a gaze of mute intensity. "Very well," Theresa stated, extending her hands. "The spirit is manifesting with considerable intensity at this moment. I sense a paternal presence." He experienced an abrupt passing. "Is there anyone present who lost a father due to a heart attack or a similarly swift event?" A woman in the second row inhaled sharply, her hand rising abruptly. "My father passed away last year due to a heart attack while driving." Theresa faced her. "Did he possess a canine?" "He is displaying a small brown dog darting about his feet." Teardrops accumulated in the woman's eyes. "Affirmative." "Buster. He deceased barely a month prior to my father's passing." Theresa smiled softly. "They are in a relationship. He wishes to convey that he did not endure suffering and takes pride in your resilience for your family." Inhalations and muted weeping resonated around the chamber. The woman, identified as Melissa, grasped her heart and murmured, "Thank you." Theresa halted, resting her hand against her chest. Now a brother is coming forward. He died at a young age, late adolescence or early adulthood. Motorcycle or automobile collision. A man in the third row exhibited noticeable tension. "My younger sibling, Tyler. He was 19. Motorcycle accident, 5 years prior." Theresa's gaze became gentle. He states, "Inform my brother that I am well. I continue to bike, albeit not as I once did." She smiled. "He is also informing me about a tattoo. Did you acquire one for him?" The man's eyes expanded in size. He bared his forearm to reveal a tattoo of angelic wings accompanied by Tyler's initials. "I acquired this 2 years prior." He is aware. "He has been with you daily since then." The studio was utterly silent at this moment. The camera team remained still, completely engrossed in the evolving emotional experience. Theresa shut her eyes once more. A maternal figure has passed away due to cancer. A person's mother. She is presenting me with red roses and a church. One individual present did not have the opportunity to bid farewell. A young woman in the rear rose gradually. "My mother. She succumbed to breast cancer 2 years ago. I was returning from college and did not arrive in time." Theresa made direct eye contact with her. Your mother stated, "I waited, although I observed you prior to your arrival. I take pride in your accomplishments, dear." Indeed, the rose garden is flourishing. The girl succumbed to tears. She had a passion for horticulture. She consistently asserted that the roses will flourish upon my return home. As the episode approached its conclusion, Theresa gazed outward once more. This is merely the commencement. The spirit remains perpetually awake. They are ever present, murmuring, directing, and expressing affection. The applause was resounding. For many, uncertainties had transformed into conviction. WCL has never experienced such profound spiritual vitality. Theresa beamed, gesturing to the audience as the screen darkened, the phrase, "To be continued," prominently displayed. Greetings, esteemed viewers. Welcome to my channel. I am Mina, and I hope your day is going splendidly. If you like the video, please remember to subscribe to the channel.